This is a DDAmanda video on CANB Corp, symbol CANB, and she's on the OTC. Alright, this first showed up the first time on a 200-day low scan on March 13th. So here's your 200-day low at 250, 0250. And then she started recovering from that, went to 3, 2, 3, and stayed in this area here. So coming off a 200-day low, this is a possible entry if you decided to buy this in the 3s here. But we keep watching it, and here we go. Here she comes up with the 6 factor and goes up to 6 cents, followed by a 10 factor. You know, by now she's got your attention, right? At 7 cents, and then she keeps, going up and up. But let's look at why this is happening, okay? Let's start doing a little bit of DD here, all right? Okay, let's find out what this company does. So all we need to do is go to our buttons here on the left and push the SU1 button. These are a couple of summary buttons, so let's push that one, which opens a new window that takes us to OTC markets, and now we can find out what this company is all about. It says here our patent portfolio. That's interesting. And they have this new division, we'll get into that. Nascent Pharma includes 3 issued patents with claims to popular cannabis and hemp-based products and manufacturing methods that dominate the industry. So they've got these patents on this stuff, on these, how they make CBD and all this other stuff. And we'll get into the value of these shortly. So they were tested in earlier litigation, survived, and now benefit from several favorable court rulings. Very interesting, huh? So this the targeted, includes major cannabis industry leaders and supports a substantial damage model. And what they're going to do is they're going to hit these companies with this patent and make them pay for, licensing, what have you. Okay, this is the live version of DDAmanda. So we got the summary. Let's check news, okay? So we go over here to our buttons and push the news button. Da-da-da-da. And it takes us to OTC markets again, where automatically we see news. Alright, so this one here is the most recent one on 10/30 here. But before that we have one, I'm trying to find something on these patents, right? So look at this one, here we go. So this is where they get these patents from. These secures ownership and control of 2 cannabis patents, valued at $122 million. Look at that, and possibly $750 million. Now let's look at this one. We got to read this, right? All right, so they got ownership and control of these 2 patents, is valued at a lot of money. I don't know how they got it, but secured ownership and control, and now they've got some valuation here, a 90%, I'm not sure how this works. It's based on CBD claims, and it looks like they're going by total revenue of THC and CBD, and come up with a value here of $750 million. So I guess these are some pretty general patents, and they're covering extracts, methods of preparing. They have a subsidiary here that apparently had this Nascent Pharma, okay, 67% owned subsidiary. They were granted in 2017. Anyway, they were valued at $122 million by an independent third-party valuation, which used a 90% discount rate, whatever that means. But anyway, that's what they came up with, $122 million. That's a lot of money, right, for this little company. So, you guys can read some more of this. its composition of matter, method of use. It seems to be pretty broad because look at this. It covers beverages, tinctures, vape, liquids, liquid-filled capsules. Uh, this constitutes a considerable portion of the hemp industry, like half, 50%. And, you know, the hemp and cannabis is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So, we're looking at some pretty interesting stuff here, pretty valuable, okay? Okay, let's look at this first news here, the first one up here, the one that they just, more recent. So, we have here an announcement that they're going to do this reorganization with Nascent Pharma. And what it is apparently Nascent was a little subsidiary of CANB, okay, which is our stock currently. And what they're going to do, they're going to kind of switch places. They're going to make Nascent the holding company, and CANB is going to become a subsidiary of this, all right? Probably because of the name. The name is a lot better here for a holding company. And all the shares, existing shares of CANB will be automatically converted 1-for-1 into shares of Nascent. So it's not going to be any big deal. It's just a straight switch, and they're going to have a symbol change, all right? And the other reason for this is that they have shifted their primary focus to protecting and commercializing these patents, which are worth a lot of money. So, and also the reorganization will enhance its ability to raise capital, blah blah, including whatever. So anyway, just a straight out switch in symbol and shares. Totally won't affect anybody, none of the shareholders. All right, guys, let's keep going. Okay, well, let's look at their website. And in DDAmanda, that is really simple also. We just go back to this summary here. And then we can just click on their website here. Now, apparently they've already gone to Nascent. They have already, you know, changed the, since they're going to be doing this name, they've already got the website set up here. And so it says here, at the heart of our business lies groundbreaking patent technology that transcends the entire cannabis industry. And here's their numbers if you want to look them up, patent numbers. It's focused on liquid formulations, which has a lot of applications. You know, your vaping, all your CBD oils, all that's liquid, to where these patents will apply to that. And they'll apply to current companies that are doing this, all right? So what do we got here? Okay, so we have these key highlights. The main thing is these patents, okay? So let's read about those. So they mention them here, and they're talking about strategic monetization. And here they are. These are the key highlights of their patents. Here's the number again. And oh, look at this. Okay, so let's look at this here. We got patent validity, all right? So they're valid in the United States. They're valid in multiple countries, Canada, New Zealand, Brazil, and they're pending in the European Union and a lot of these other countries. And check this out. Effective until 2035, 10 years. Now, they talk about unlocking value here, which is the monetization of these, which means licensing, okay? So what's going to happen is all these companies that are you know, formulating these liquids are going to have to come to these guys, come to us, and pay licensing fees, and they're going to go after infringements and stuff like that. And so they're going to leverage all this into money for the company. So it says here, estimated at 10% royalty rate on gross revenues, which is, you know, we're talking about billions of dollars here if you go through the whole industry, right? So expect to generate sales revenue and collect royalties at approximately 10% of the gross revenues of these companies. So a lot of money. All right, guys. Oh, they're exploring new distribution channels and reach more patients. You guys can read about this high potency formulation. a lot of stuff, future market outlook. And here's their management team. A lot of guys here. They look halfway decent. Seasoned professionals with deep expertise in cannabis, intellectual property law, and business development. So there you go. Industry veterans. We've got a lot of guys involved here. Patent author, principal IP advisor. This guy, Ernest Blackman. Senior legal advisor, SEC, corporate counsel. So they got the SEC covered here. And this guy, a director. Anyway, you can look these up. So pretty professional guys here in the management. So there's that. Okay, let's get to the good part here. Now, on OTC markets where they have this news, if you don't know that there is another section, you're going to miss it because you've got this news here, but there's another section below that it's a different news section. But look at this, guys. We got something here dated 4/10/25, just a few days ago. And what it is they have hired a legal, well, let's just click on it. So, they hired Fox Rothschild to defend and monetize its two patents, valued at $122 million and potentially in excess of that's $750 million right here, guys. So, they have hired a nice little law firm. And they're going to go after all these companies and get them to pay revenues, royalties, or license fees, or what have you, to us, to our company. Look at this. U.S.-based law firm with 30 offices and 1,000 attorneys. So we've got this guy, James Schmedley, a partner at Fox Rothschild. I like their name, Fox Rothschild. That's nice, huh? So they're going to go after it. Let's look at their website really quick. The Fox people. Do we have a link to them? There it is right there. Just click on that. Alright, here's their website. Cool. Holy shit, look at this. They're doing stuff for Trump, for the White House. Amazing. Look at this stuff. 1,000 attorneys, 30 offices, 70 diverse services. Oh, look at this. Here's all their offices across the United States. Damn, every one of these dots. And every one of these cities over here. Wow. Alright, so these guys are a big deal, right? And they're going to start the legal part of it and get the money for us. And I have a final thought here that I'm going to save for the next video, which is really going to blow you guys away. So I suggest you guys buy some shares of this and let's make some money. Alright, getting back to DDAmanda here and what's been happening. Since all that news came out, here we got a 6-factor, another 12-factor. Look at the chart. She's on her way up, guys. That is an upward trend. And it's only going to get better. Here's a 200-day high at 1650, another 200-day high, 1835. And what's our drag ratio? 1.96. That's pretty good. I like that. That means it's twice as easy for her to go up as it is to go down. And RSI is 64 yesterday. Before that, 61. So we got a lot of room there as well. So in summary, what's going to happen is we're going to get a lot of money from a lot of these companies using this major law firm here. So I expect some wonderful things to be announced pretty soon, guys. Anyway, thanks for listening, and have a good rest of the weekend, and onward and upward, baby.